Welcome back. I hope you had a marvelous spring break. I certainly did myself. And I promised you I would post some of my pictures of visiting London and Tintagel and Stonehenge and Glastonbury, and I will do that. I was planning on doing that today, but I just haven't gotten it done quite yet. So first of all, I would like to thank the Chapter 8 Motivation and Learning team, Justin Furman, Andrew Weichman, and Leslie Vera, for a great week. I know that you've all been very engaged in conversation about this particular topic, motivation and learning. Oh, and by the way, should you be even more interested in it and have an opening for a course that might be an elective course for your program of study, we do have such a course in motivation and learning. It's actually a $44.99. When you see a $44.99, it means it's an experimental course. It hasn't been taught before, and that's the case with a course that will be offered this summer called Employee Engagement and Motivation. So that's $44.99, Employee Engagement and Motivation, and that will be taught by Dr. Rob Leon. And so that's if you want more on this topic, that's an excellent course to take. That will begin May 19th and go through June 26th, I believe. All right, so this week we are moving to Chapter 9, which is the brain and cognitive function. And Alyssa Ramirez and Dustin Rasmussen and Gabby Campa are our instructors, or at least those who have prepared the materials for us for this week. And when we're talking about the brain and cognitive function, we're in an area where we know quite a bit, but we also know that there is so very much more to learn. So let's go to our framework. When we're talking about cognitive learning and how the brain actually works, we sometimes talk in terms of hemispheres where language, logic, and verbal aspects are considered to be left hemisphere, and right hemisphere with governs patterns, images, creativity, etc. And we've long thought that. There is now research to suggest that that is not exactly right, and that there are more crossovers. One of the things we've learned about stroke is that there are some folks who have been able to go across the cortex and reestablish lines in a different part of the brain. And so that's an interesting understanding and very new. And there's other research too. When we talk about fluid and crystallized intelligence, and really looking at what we're learning about intelligence in the very, very young and in the very, very old. And so those are our areas of emergent work. Certainly we've got Gardner's multiple intelligences, and Sternberg, who talks about triarchic theory, and Sternberg also talks about wisdom. So, and about experiential learning. So, and then we've got Goleman, who talks about emotional intelligence. All of these are areas that are popularized and in the popular press, although Sternberg is less in the popular press than in the scholarly literature than the other two. But the other two certainly have gained a large presence and a large following in the popular press. And that's much of what many of the ordinary populace know about how the brain works. So we will do some light exploring through our Chapter 9 in this week, and the The team who's prepared Chapter 9 for us have even some things like games um, and some experiential types of things for us to do. So, so consider that we're going to be doing some fun things this week for learning about how the brain works. We've also got TED Talk and an article for us. So lots of additional activities. Coming up is, and that's for April 11th, is our individual project. So there were 8 options for you. I hope that you've gotten started on that, and if not, I encourage you to do so right away. That again is worth 20 points, and it is due April 11th. This, as I'm speaking right now, is April 2nd, so not many more days before that project is due. Then we have our knowledge check, which is the quiz at the end of this week. Actually, it will open on the 8th, and which is Friday, and then close on the 10th. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday it will be open. Opens at 5 a.m. on Friday, closes at 5 p.m. on Sunday. It's going to be across chapters 7, 8, and 9. And of course, chapter 9 we're working on this week. And we talked before that we wanted to have additional time and not have the quiz open as the last chapter in the covered area open at the same time. So we're allowing all the way to Friday, that you will have made your postings on the material this week by Thursday. So hopefully that will give you ample time to be prepared for our knowledge checks on 7, 8, 9. So our participation this week is going to be in terms of your brain and cognitive health, and really looking at a gaming way of understanding and how well your brain is working and how fast the synapses are working, in order to gain both recall and elasticity. So many of you probably already use as an exercise for your brain luminosity, and that's where we're going to go. There is some free and luminosity. I think that you can go in and sign up for 3 free training sessions and just see what your brain performance index is and how that compares to your age group, and that's even to groups above 55. So that's going to be something that we're going to do for activity and then talk about in the forum, and that's due on Thursday. So that is, in a nutshell, what we're going to be doing this week. And let's just go back and look at what we have in mind. Recognize that we do have our chapter 7, 8, and 9 knowledge check coming up on Friday. And then for next week, on the 11th, a week from Monday, we have our individual project due. So be aware of that, and I hope that you are already started and have been working on it. So I'll look forward to that. Many of you probably have already posted your projects, and I just haven't noticed it. So I'll go in and check as soon as we are through with our conversation right now. So, all right, we're getting ready to start chapter 9, and we are in week 13. We're going to week 16. We have 4 more weeks, and this semester is winding down. Have a great week, and be sure to send me questions if you have them, or put them in Ask Dr. Karen. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.